I think right now it's time to start. I'm very happy to welcome everyone for our tonight's workshop on customizing your Shopify store theme. And I'm very happy to say that this workshop is supported by the Woman Who Code Tokyo, and it's delivered to you by Rossella, who is a Shopify Theme Developer at Flagship. And before we move on to the main part of the workshop, I would like to spare just 30 seconds of your time to do a very short introduction of the Wagon, who is organizing this event. I will not do an introduction because I'm pretty sure a lot of you here already know what we do. We are coding bootcamp. We teach people how to code, build web applications, and data science projects. We have two formats of the bootcamp: the full-time 9 weeks, and the part-time for those who have some work or family commitments, 24 weeks, spread over 6 months. And the very important information that I wanted to share, just only one slide that I wanted to share is this one, which is the demo day that we have on November 27th. This is a very important day for us, where our full-time students will present their final projects that they will be working during the past 2 project weeks. So I invite everyone to join. It's completely free. It's online, and if you want to see what people can do in 2 weeks, what kind of projects they can build in just 2 weeks, if you want to search for some future employees for your company, or if you just want to do some really cool networking with some cool folks, I invite you to join. I will send the link in the chat after this. And this is gonna be all from me. Also, just wanted to say that from Wagon team today, we also have Douglas, our teacher, who will be assisting Rossella today behind the scenes. We'll be answering the questions if you have any in the chat, and Rossella will not have time to look at the chat. So feel free, if you're stuck in any time, just shoot your message to the chat. We are here to help you. Okay, enough idle talk from me. And right now I'm giving the microphone to Rossella. Please proceed.
Thank you for your introduction. Let me share my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Good. All right, let me minimize this actually. Okay. So thanks for the introduction. As Sasha said, my name is Rossella, and I'm a Shopify Team Developer at Flagship. It's an agency, an e-commerce agency, and Shopify Plus Partner here in Tokyo. I'm also a lead at Women Who Code Tokyo, a non-profit organization that is aimed at inspiring and empowering women in technology. Check it out if you want to. I'm from Italy. I lived in London, and I've been in Japan for 3 years now. I love to travel, and I'm a big video game fan. You'll find out this later on today. This is what I'm hoping to go through in the next hour. First of all, we'll talk about what's a Shopify theme. Then we'll take a look at the Shopify theme structure. Then we'll go through some basic concepts of liquid templating language. And then we'll move on to the practical part of the workshop, where I'll show you how to set up your development environment. We'll do together a couple of examples of theme customization with Liquid, and then I'll share some useful resources, and we'll move on to the Q&A. These are the learning outcomes I'm hoping you can achieve after today. So learn how to set up your development environment, learn how to code a custom section in your Shopify theme, and learn how to create a new page template. So why build for Shopify? Shopify is a huge community, and it powers over 1 million stores worldwide. There are always new merchants looking for developers and Shopify experts in general that can set up their store, or that can help them customize some parts of the theme or modify an existing theme. Shopify has several sales channels. You can sell Shopify from your Shopify store on Facebook, on Messenger, on Shopify POS, which is the point of sale that you can use in store. And what we look at today, what is the most important for me, the online store. The online store basically works with themes. And what's a Shopify theme? So when you join the partner, the Shopify partner website, you have a default theme already set up there, the debut theme. Shopify theme is basically a template that provides the looks and feel of your store. And different teams have different layouts, and they offer a different experience to your customers. So a store that sells food and drinks will have a different theme than a store that sells furniture. Once you log in the Shopify Partners dashboard, this is what you see. This is the admin that you see. This is my store that we'll look at later on today. If you're Animal Crossing fans, you'll like this. And on the top left side, there are all the Shopify general admin sections. So here is where you can check your products, you can check your orders, you can view the customers that have signed up to your website. You can create discounts and coupon codes, and you can install apps, public and private apps. And then on the bottom left, you can see the online store. This is where you can see all the themes, where you can create new blog posts, new pages. And then there's also a section where your client is ready to launch the store. You can set up the domain from here as well. When selecting the themes, this is the screen you'll see. On the top part, there is the live theme, so the published theme if your store is open to the public. And then underneath there would be other themes. You can have a maximum of 20 themes on a store. And I always recommend to make a copy of the main theme, of the published theme, because any change you make there, especially if your store is live, will be seen directly from your customers. So you want to be working on a copy of the theme, and then once you're ready, publish the duplicate theme as the live theme. There are two ways of editing a theme. So as we were saying in the event introduction, the merchant can make some changes to the theme. Basically, if you click on customize here, you get to the CMS. For example, this is the screen that you see for the home page. This is the page that you're editing, and these are blocks that you can drag and move and customize. And then you have overall theme settings for the whole store if your theme already has them built in, and you can choose the typography. For example, this is the selection of colors, so you can manage all the custom options for your theme, the looks and feel of your theme. Then there is another way of editing the theme, and it's the theme code editor. This is what you will see when you edit the code. And this is the theme code editor. And if you click on each file, you can edit the code directly from here. These files are mostly liquid files, which is the language we'll talk about later on today. So since we're here to talk about themes, let's take a look at the theme structure and basically what kind of files are we going to be working with. These are like folders that you find in every Shopify theme. And what you'll come to realize is there's a lot of HTML sprinkled with some liquid. That is what makes it a dynamic site. So what I wanted to do is move to my dashboard. And so as I said, this is what you see when you log in. I'm gonna duplicate the theme because I don't want to touch anything in the files and kind of modify. And I usually always rename it with the name of the store and today's date. If you're working with other developers, you probably name it after yourself, and then you keep working on the same theme. So let's click on edit code. All right, so the layout folder includes the most important file of them all. It includes theme.liquid, which is basically the overall template for your store. It's what basically it adds the head to your store with all the style sheets, all the things that need to be in the head, all the meta content, and it also wraps the body of all of your routes. If you make any changes to this file, they will be reflected in the whole store. So, for example, if your client wants to run a promotion and they want to display a promotional banner throughout the whole site, this is where they will want to add that. And Shopify has a regular plan, and also there's a Shopify Plus plan. In this layout folder, if you're on a Shopify Plus plan, you will also have a file called checkout.liquid. Normally, for regular Shopify stores, you can't edit the checkout unless, of course, you're a Shopify Plus. So the checkout.liquid file will allow you to make changes to the checkout experience. Then we move on to the template file. This includes all the, as the name says, the templates for all of your pages. And there are some standard templates in this folder. So the cart.liquid, or the collection file. There's also the homepage, so index.liquid. And this, you'd be surprised, it only includes this object that we actually have no control over. It's a Shopify global object, and this is what makes the dynamic sections on the top page, on the homepage, work. All right, then we have the sections. Sections are customizable blocks of content that you can add to any of the page templates. For example, you see here, there's the footer, there's the header, and then you include you call this section in your templates. There are two types of sections. There's static sections and dynamic sections. Static sections, they're hard-coded into the theme files. So, for example, if I want to have a gallery in my product page, I can add a section there, and I cannot add or remove it from the theme customizer, and I can't reshuffle the sections order. That's only possible for the homepage, and the homepage has specific dynamic section that are slightly different from these ones, and the fact that they are dynamic means that they can be part of the content for index that we saw here. Today we will code together a dynamic section for our homepage. Then we've got the snippets folder. Snippets are other bits of code that you can include in other pages. It's basically, the purpose is to keep the code tidy and to create reusable components that you can use in other templates. I'm gonna show you, for example, this snippet here. This is the social sharing. I'm just going to, oh, hello. This is my theme, and if you click on this is a blog, a sample blog post. These are the buttons I'm talking about. So these are the social sharing buttons that are coded here. And basically, this social sharing snippet is used in a section that is called article template. So you're basically including a snippet here called social sharing, which is the file we saw before. And optionally, you can pass some arguments, so share title, share permalink. And this article is the article object, and basically this section has access to this Shopify object because it is part of a template in the article template. So we see here section article template. Every template has access to different objects. So you need to be careful about where you insert your code snippets or your sections. Then we've got the assets folder. Assets folder includes some images that we use throughout the whole team, and JavaScript and CSS files. And the way we include those in the head, for example, let's see. Yeah, so for example, Team CSS, which is here, you are calling it, you're preloading here and using a filter called asset URL, so that when you load your store, it finds that file in the asset folder. Then we've got two more folders. The config folder, it has two main files, settings schema and settings data. Settings schema is basically, let's just check this on another page. It's what determines all the generic settings for the store. So once you're in the theme customizer, I said before that you have different sections with different options. And you also have the theme settings, which is where you can set up the typography, you can change the size of your font. And this is what is controlled by the theme setting, by the schema settings file. Yeah, so for example, type, color, and then this is what is going to be referred to then in the theme. And the settings data saves all of the changes you've made in the theme customizer, so that you have some sort of a backup of everything you've selected in the theme customizer. And finally, we've got locals for your theme internationalization. So if you are choosing to have your store in more than one language, this is where you set up the translations for your text strings. What are we doing? We're doing, let's see. Let's check Italian. So this is a JSON object, and it has a reference to the string. And basically, whenever you want to use it in one of your templates, in one of your pages, you just call, for example, 404.title, and then 404 pagina non trovata will be returned on your storefront. All right, let me go back here. So this is a little diagram of what type of files you can find in these folders. And also something I find quite useful is how the URL mapping works. So you remember all the templates I showed you, article.liquid, blog.liquid, index.liquid. These are the URLs that those templates resolve to. So if I go to a URL that doesn't exist, then the template for the 404 page will be returned. If I wanna use the product.liquid, the URL for the product will be your website, then /product, then /product handle. Or yeah, collections will be collections. This is not very intuitive. Collections will be a list of all the collections. So the template files list collections, while collection.liquid is for an individual collection. And the URL is similar to the product. So product/product handle. All right. Now you've noticed that all of those files that we saw, they end with the extension .liquid. And Liquid is the templating language that is used on Shopify. It's an open source template language, and it's written in Ruby. It basically creates a bridge between the HTML file and your data store. So in our case, our data is the Shopify store, and think about Liquid as some sort of a placeholder that then will return on our page the data from our store. So it does this by allowing us to access variables within a template. Liquid has been in production on Shopify since 2006, and it's not only used by Shopify. That's what I found out for this presentation, actually. It's used for Zendesk or for Salesforce Desk. So that's an interesting thing. It's a language that you can use also outside of Shopify. This is an explanation of how Liquid allows you to access variables that are built in Shopify. And some variables are accessible only from some specific templates. So if you're on the product.liquid template, you have access to the product object and all of its properties. So you can print the product title, product price, and other information. There are two main things that are fundamental in Liquid, output and logic. This is the syntax you will see over and over again once you start coding with Liquid. And the output will give you text-based things, while the logic, of course, will give you the logic, will help you create the logic. The output has double curly braces, and this is an example. So shop name, shop will be the liquid object, and you access the property name of the shop, and then this is what will be returned on the page. This is a real life example of the output. This is from the head of from the team.liquid file, and the title of the page, which is what you see in the tab, will be outputted here using shop.name. The other fundamental tag is the logic. So if you're doing if statements or if you're doing for loops, that's when you will use this syntax, and it's a curly bracket and a percentage sign. In this example, I'm assigning the variable name product count to 0 as the value. So in line 1, I'm using the logic, and then in line 2, I'm printing that to the page. It could be in a paragraph, it could be in an H1. This is just an example. Then, as other templating languages, Liquid also has constructs like for loops and control flow. So this is an example of the syntax for a for loop. What we're interested in is this syntax. Item and items is just a placeholder. So for item in items, and then you always need to close the for loop here. Again, this is an example that you can find in the collection page. So you can use the collection object because you're editing the collection.liquid template. So you are looping through the collection products, and you're creating the name for the variable. So for product in collection products, and then you are outputting an H3 tag, and then an anchor tag with the product URL and text as a product title. So you see the logic and the output here. This is the syntax for an if-else statement. So if, else, and if. There could be also else if to include other conditions, and there are there's also unless, so which works the other way around. And this is how an if statement works in Liquid. In this case, we are, if the product is available, we are displaying its price. And if not, we are displaying p tag with the sold out text. Product available basically returns either true or false. It's true if the item is in stock, and it's false if the item has inventory quantity equal or less than 0. And in here, we're using the price, product price, and we're using this, which is a filter, which formats our price in the money that is set up on our store. So that was a filter, and now we move on to the filters. So filters, they are methods that modify strings or numbers or variables. And basically the syntax is a pipe symbol, then the filter name, and then if you want to pass an optional parameter, you use column and then the parameter name. These are just some examples of Shopify filters. The first two ones are for strings. So capitalize me does what it says. It capitalizes the string. Strip removes all the white spaces from the left and the right of the string. This is a money filter. So there are different types of filter. There's string, number, money. There's also blank right now, I'll find out later. We'll go through some filters together. And basically, this filter also outputs the currency that is set up in your store. So for example, there will be a $sign, then 145, and then USD. So the currency that you've set up in your store. And then the last one just does a mathematical operation to the product price, which is a number, and it passes the parameter 10, so you get the product price divided by 10. Lastly, we've got some comparison operators, as in other languages. So you have, these are only a few of them. So A equals B, A does not equal B, and A and condition B are both true. Liquid is basically you can use operators to create your control flow logic. So in this case, I just want to show this link if my product type is equal to shoes or if my product type is equal to shirts. In a production store, I would also have an else statement. So, but that of course makes things more complex. So this is what we went through right now. The liquid syntax, double parentheses, double curly brackets denotes the output. The curly bracket and percentage sign denotes the logic. Objects use the dot syntax. Loops allow iteration over objects. Filters manipulate output, and operators allow comparison. All right, how's everybody doing? We're gonna move to the more practical side of things now. I showed you the theme editor, where you can edit the code directly from your team. However, if you're planning on being a Shopify developer regularly, I'd recommend using Teamkit, which is a cross-platform tool that allows you to directly interact with Shopify, but using your own development tools. I put together a little comparison. So the admin theme editor is really easy to work with. It can be used for quick changes, and it also has some version control, so you can see all the changes that were made to a specific file. Then we have Teamkit, which sets up a local environment, and the advantages are that you can use your favorite text editor, you can integrate Git, the development is really fast, and it's great for working in teams because you can work on different features and integrate Git and then push all of your changes to master, and master will deploy with a continuous integration platform. It will deploy to your team directly. I'm saying that it's local because Shopify is a hosted platform, so Shopify always requires a connection to the server to compile and render the data. So Teamkit is not truly local because of this. And now let's go and set up. So for this part, we'll need the terminal. So this is the website for Teamkit. You can see the URL. So it's shopify.github.io/teamkit.
And I'm sharing all these links in the chat. If you have some links on your slides, I will share them, don't worry.
Amazing. So we need, first of all, we need to install Teamkit, and we do that by running these two commands. So brew tab Shopify/Shopify. This is when you usually make a cup of tea.
Or a few sips of a beer.
Yes. Okay, it's done. And then we write the command brew install Teamkit. It will give me an error because I have it already installed. I just wanted to show you the commands that we need to run. And now what we need to do is gather all the details that allow Teamkit to work from our code editor. So the first thing we need is to create a private app on our store so that we give access, read and write access to our team to Teamkit. So I'm gonna go back and close all of this, our familiar admin dashboard. And we need to go here in the apps section. Apps is where you can install free or paid apps. I've installed the wishlist app. There are plenty more. There's like some apps that allow you to import products using Excel and then export them from your store. So there's so many things. There's apps that allow you to upsell products. What we're interested in is manage private apps here. So we click on this. And then we need to create a new private app. I'm gonna give it Nook Miles Store Dev. And then the most important part is selecting the correct permissions for the app. So there are many permissions you can give because these private apps can work with your orders API. There's so much you can do with apps and Shopify. But what we need is the themes, and we need to give it read and write access. It will give me a warning, but it's okay. It just says that you should share the API keys with who you trust. And then it will create the API keys here. I'm gonna copy this and I'm just gonna make a note of it here. So the password, I'm gonna delete this app after the workshop, so it's not gonna be any issues. Then what we also need is the URL of our store. So in my case, is this? Oh, actually I already have it here. And then we need the team ID. So what we do with Teamkit, we make out the changes on our local code editor, and then Teamkit pushes them to the team, and you can refresh the page and see your changes there. To get the team ID, I usually click on Customize, and the team ID will be this number here, so just after teams. All right. And now back in the terminal, I'm gonna go back to this site because I need to run this command. So it will be team get p, which is our password, then s, which is the store URL, and then t, my team ID. Okay, it's now downloading. It will take a little while. So what I've done, I've just created like a list of what we've just done in case any of you is doing this simultaneously. So installing Teamkit, getting the API access, so creating a private app, then get the relevant info, store name, team ID, app API password, and then configure the team. Let's see how it's going. elevator music. Okay. What? What's going on? It's hanging at 99%. Well, I do have it already. It should go to 100%, and then you should be able to open it on your with your code editor. But however, it's not working right now, so I'm just gonna stop the program. So what you should get is, yeah, here we go. So it's basically a theme with the, oh, hold on, this is not the one I want. All right, I want this one. And it will have a file, a config file, that will be automatically generated after you have downloaded the theme. What I need to do is change the theme ID here, because this is for an old theme, sorry. And then if I run theme watch, E, which stands for environment, and then development, which is the name I've given to this environment. So now it is using, it's watching for file changes to the theme. So for example, if we preview the theme, no, let's actually, let's do it later. Oh, well, products, yeah, I can add it here. Basically, it will mirror the changes directly on here, yeah. Let's not do this, it's just a waste of time. All right, actually, yeah, let's code together. Now we want to create a new section. New section is what we saw here. So you see this banner, this hero panel here. I can change the image, or I can modify the layout. I can customize the text here. And what I want to do on my page, I want to add a new section, and the new section will appear here so that I can select it and I can add some additional content. I want to have a seasonal highlight, so I want to showcase a product for the autumn. So let's do that. Let's create a new section. I'm gonna call it sure. Well, I'm gonna call it highlight. And what makes a section is the schema. So the schema is basically a JSON object that sets up these options. So the syntax for the schema, just with our logic tags, schema and schema. And then there's a JSON object. What is important here is the name. I'm just gonna call it highlight. And then since this is a dynamic section, we need to define some presets. It's a property that we need to add here. And for the presets, we need the name again. And then we need the category. For category, I'm just going to use custom section, so it's easier to find. Okay, so now if I refresh my theme, I should see the new section that I've just created. At least I should see it showing up in the options, because it will be empty right now. So we've got here custom section, highlight section, but if I try and select it, it says that the section has no content or settings. That's the next thing we will do. We need to add some settings. Use the Japanese keyboard at work, so I keep getting confused. What do I want to do? I want to have a text input. So I need to define its ID, section text, section header. Then I need to define a type, which will be a type text. Then I need to have a label so that in my theme customizer it's clear what I have. Section title. Actually, yeah, let's call it section title. And then I'm going to have a default value. And then what I want to do, I'm going to add some HTML here, just so we can see it inputted on the page. And the way I call it is section, because I'm referencing this section.settings. Then I use section title, which is the ID I've just created. There's lots of refreshing. Okay, so now our highlight section will have a title, and I can just change and save it, and it will be displayed here. I know you don't want to see me type, so I'm just going to add some more settings, and then I'll explain what they are. Be careful not to leave hanging comments, because it will give you an error message if there's additional syntax that you don't need. So what I've added is a text area, which is a section description. Then an image picker, because I want to display an image that was posted by a user, so it's got some more attractive content. And I want to also display the username of the person that posted the picture. And then I want to add a button, and I want to be able to use the customizer to define the link URL. So I have a type URL, and I have the link, the text. So initially, I'm just going to get rid of this. So I have my div, so it's a little bit prettier. And also I'm adding a class, so you can have class as a property of a schema as well. So I've got no errors here. Okay, refreshing again. Let me add some text. Well, actually, no, let's add it later when we also have the image. So what we've done here is I've created a div for my text container. Then I've done the same thing we did before. So I have an H1 with section settings, section title. Then I have a paragraph with the section description. And then I have a link with the link URL. And I'm using the link text for both the text that will be displayed in the anchor tag and also for the ARIA label for accessibility. Then I'm also going to add the image. The image is a little bit complex, so hang in there. I have some conditional logic in here. So if the user doesn't add an image, so if the user selection is not blank, then display the image. Otherwise, I'm using something that has been introduced by Shopify for developers that want to build themes, but don't necessarily have all the products set up on the store. So they want to use some images that give a good look to the website. So I'm using this special placeholder SVG tag filter. And what this does is it uses some of these images as placeholder if something is blank. So I've chosen one of these to add to my code. And then the other part of the if statement, it's creating a div, and then it's creating an image, and the source, it's actually a variable. So I've created the new variable called image URL, and I've assigned it to the user image that gets uploaded, and it's using also a filter that it's basically deciding the width of it's forcing the width of the image by passing this parameter. You can pass many more parameters. You can give it some names that determine the width or the height or the total dimensions. There's so many things that you can do with the image URL filter. You can even crop images. And then I'm also using the alt tag. I'm using the username and I'm appending some text. I don't actually need this escape because that's for URLs. And then I'm using the username to be displayed there. You might be asking, why is the CSS working? The CSS is working because I've added it to theme.css.liquid. This is a massive file. What developers at Shopify recommend is to add your extra CSS at the very bottom. So I've just added all of my styles here. What you can also do is create a separate file and then call it in your head after the main style file, so it doesn't get overridden. And let's just refresh this. Ta-da. So this is the placeholder image that I was telling you about. Since this is empty, it won't show anything. I'm just going to, I'm a big Animal Crossing fan, as you can see. And then I'm gonna change the text to something that actually makes sense. So I'm the one that posted this picture. No, actually it's from the Animal Crossing website. I'm gonna leave the link blank because I want to link this page to this button to the page where we'll create next. Cool, and here we go. So I've saved it, and if I get out of here and if I preview my theme, I will see my new section just here. And since this is a dynamic section, I can move it anywhere I want in the page. Shopify is actually, they're in the processing of developing sections everywhere. So in the future, hopefully in the near future, you'll be able to have this type of structure in product pages or collection pages as well, but it's still a work in progress. All right, so just as a recap of what we did just now, to add a new section, we've created a new liquid file in the section folder. Then we've set up the section schema with the name, presets, and the settings. And then we've added the HTML and used our section settings to call the dynamic content that is set up in the schema. And then we configure our section in the customizer. I have a link here to the settings types. So these are some other settings that you can use in your schema. So you can have radio buttons, you can have a select, a checkbox. So for example, you can wrap your entire section in an if statement. And if the checkbox is selected, show the section, otherwise don't show it. And that's very good for static sections because the client has actually control over what they want to display or not. They might want to use a section one day and then for 10 days don't use it and then use it again. All right. Now let's create a page. Pages. You can create new pages here, actually. I want to show you what pages are. Pages are, there's only two at the moment. There's like the contact us page and the about us page. There's two page templates that come with the debut theme, which is the one I've used as a blueprint, because you can create themes with Teamkit, but they're skeleton themes, so you need to do a lot of work to actually make them look like themes. So I prefer to use this one, so it gives you a bit more of the good feeling about Shopify. And here there are the two templates I can choose for the page. We will add a third in the next small live coding. And basically, contact us page is a form. So it's got name, email, phone number, and message. And we can see in the code, not sections, I want to go to templates. So it'll be page.contact. And this is the page that we just saw with the form. And there's some logic that creates forms with Shopify, which is really cool. So you are creating a contact form and then it submits it directly to the email register to the store. And then there is the regular page that, for example, is the one I created yesterday. So I created this about us page just to show you what you can do only with the theme admin. With the store admin. And in this page, I've essentially added HTML. So even if the code of the page only has the page title and then the page content can be tables, can be images. So there is quite a lot of flexibility in adding elements to the page. However, what I want to do in the template we will create, I want to make use of some of the sections that we saw before. So I want to add an image slider and I want to add a feature product section, which is already in the theme. So I'm gonna create a new, I want to add, it's actually not even used on the homepage. So that's good. So we can make use of that. In order to create a new page, I have the file here already, but you need to create a new file in the templates folder, and the name of the file needs to be very specific. So it needs to be page and then dot, and then the name of the name that you want to give to your page, and then liquid. You can create different templates for the articles, which are the blog articles, or for the product pages as well. So you can assign different templates according to the product type if you want, or if you have pre-order items and you don't want to show the cart button, you can create a pre-order product template. So I've created this file and I'm theme watching. However, when I try and add the new page, this doesn't appear. Why is that? This happened to me at work as well. The first time I was like, why? So new page templates, they actually need to be added to the live theme. I know I've told you never to edit the live theme, but in this case you have to. So you can either add it through the edit code button by adding a new section, but I'm gonna add it through Teamkit. I need to create another environment here. So you can have different environments in Teamkit, and I need to grab the ID for the live theme and replace it here. And now I'm theme watching. All right, so I have an error message. It's just a new thing that was implemented by Teamkit because many developers were actually theme watching on a live theme without realizing. And you need to pass the allow live flag when you want to push changes to a live theme. There you go, warning, this is the live theme. Oh my God, I'm gonna break everything. So what I'm doing, I'm just saving, and now it's theme watching on the theme. I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah, and I'm gonna go back to the development. Where was I? I was here. And now I'm gonna create the new page. Call it seasonal highlights. And the new page highlights is here. I'm just gonna also add some text to the content. Cool. Let's call it autumn. And then, yeah, I'm gonna publish it right now. If you want, you can create pages and keep them hidden for a while, or like schedule when they're gonna be published. But in this case, my store is not live, so there is no problem with that. So right now the page is actually empty. What I want to do is it's a bit of a pain getting to the page because it's not linked anywhere. So I'm going to link. Whoa. I was editing the live theme and my section was not there. I was like, why? Okay, highlight, and in here, pages, and Shopify will show me all the pages that I have. Okay. All right, the page is completely empty right now because our file is empty. I'm gonna use the same structure of the page, of the classic page. However, what I'll do, I'll add a couple of sections. And the way you call static sections is just with the word section. And then let's see, what do I want to add? I want to add a slideshow. And I also want to add featured product. There we go. Right, so we have our content here, and this is it's probably an if statement there is built in the section. So it doesn't show a paragraph if there's no content in the images. And this is a section with the featured product. So it has the product image, product name, and the description. I can navigate to the pages from here. And then in here now, we're gonna see the slideshow, and we can add images. I don't know, spooky. Not really, actually. And we can add a second image slide. My favorite villager, here we go. Cool. And now, before saving, there's plenty of other options here, so you can change the timing of the when the slides change. And then the feature product, this is product selector, a product picker, and these are the products I have in my store. What do I want to have here? Let's have a spooky lantern, because Halloween was just a few days ago. Great. So I'm gonna save. Hopefully it won't switch me to the live store. Yeah. Sometimes it just redirects you to the live store. So you're like, oh, I've added some changes, but they're not there. But it didn't in this case. Yeah, so I've got my, my product. I can add a cart from here. The debut theme is really bare bone as well, but you can do a lot of customization and the code is really good. Yeah, so we've added a new page template, and this is just a short summary of what we just did. It was quite straightforward. So you need to create a new file in the template folder, and the name needs to be page.template name, or this should be a dot instead of a hyphen. So page.template name.liquid. Then you add the file to the live theme, and then you create a new page and assign the new template, and then you code your page. You can have, basically, sky's the limit of what you can have on a page. Those were only some small features that I thought of, something easy to start with to understand how the theme customization works, because I guess that's what clients are very interested in, having the possibility of changing some settings and refreshing their store without having to go in the code. These are like some things that Shopify worked on very recently. So these are all things that were added this year. ShopPay is actually a payment method that it's like, yeah, it's their payment method. It was around since a couple of years. However, they've rebranded it this year. They also launched Shop App, which is mostly in the US, and it allows you to track the deliveries and like aggregate all of the orders you've made on Shopify stores in one single app. Then you can add tipping to your store, and with COVID, lots of restaurants and food businesses have also opened a Shopify store for local deliveries. So they've added the option to include tipping in the final price. Then they've just launched Shopify subscriptions last month. And that's a native feature with the Shopify subscriptions. Then they also have local pickup and local delivery. And they have something really cool for front-end developers, which is the Shopify Team Inspector. And this is basically, it's an extension for Chrome. And it kind of works like Lighthouse. So it measures the performance of your store, but it breaks down all of your liquid files. So you see the ones that are not performing well. So if you're doing a for loop, that could be done better, or that if you're looping through all of your products and that slows down the page, it gives you the total time to render liquid, which is something that with Lighthouse, you can't really know. And then I just have some useful resources for Shopify front-end developers. There is the liquid cheat sheet. This is the Bible. So it has everything related to liquid. So for example, it shows you, else, and it gives you an example of how you can use else. What is cool? Yeah, the color filters, the array filters, because you can also create arrays. They're a little bit different from JavaScript arrays, but you can have arrays in Shopify. This is the placeholder SVG tag that I've showed you before to have placeholder images, image URL. Check out this website because it's quite good. When you research on Google, it will always come up. Then something they've launched recently is the Shopify Dev Twitch channel. There's actually 2 very good front-end developers that talk everything. They discuss everything related to Shopify on Twitch. Then there is, of course, the Shopify official documentation. Then there's Shopify Partner webinars that are not limited only to team development, but they also offer general advice on the business and also on app development, which is a very big part of the Shopify environment. And then a link to Shopify Teamkit. I want to show you the Shopify developers. This is for Shopify teams, and basically this is the documentation, and there are supported and unsupported tutorials, but there's really, really, really a lot of information here. So I don't know, I want to check the product. No, this is for the API actually. Well, let's go product. If I Google product object Shopify, it's much easier that way. There we go, Shopify Dev. And it will list all of the properties of, if you're ever unsure about something, it will show like product handle, what is it? Product has only default variant, or product options, everything that you can access through the product object is here, and there's many more objects. So it's really, really, really good documentation. That's everything from me. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening to me ranting about Shopify. I hope you learned something. Yeah, and cool.
Cool. Thank you so much, Rossella. And I also shared a link to the useful resources that you had on your slides. I shared in the chat. So guys, feel free to click and check everything that Rossella was talking about. Now it's time for questions. Feel free to write down your question in the chat, or you can also unmute yourself and ask it here on stage. You can also share links to your Shopify store.
Yeah.
If you run something, feel free to show it off. Maybe request for some feedback, or maybe just share your store with other people.
I have a question for you actually. Are you developing with Shopify? People that are attending this workshop, or is it, why are you interested in Shopify? Good career?
Looks like, someone could have already shared the link. Cool, let's check.
All right, let me go and check it.
Oh, you have several questions, Rossella, already in the chat.
Good.
So question.
Good.
There's
myboombox.com.
There's a question from Grant. Does
Yes.
Shopify Theme Development use Git at all?
You can integrate Git, and where I work, we use Git because it's a lifesaver and it allows you to work with other people. And basically, what we do is even for my store, I created a Git repository, and you upload the project on Git, then you create a new branch for the feature that you're working on, and then you will merge that feature once it's approved to master. And you use something like Deploybot, or we use Buddy to configure the continuous deployment to the team. So you can actually install an app on your store for Deploybot or for Buddy, and it will bundle everything up and push it to your Shopify store. So that's really a lifesaver. And you can connect the staging environment as well to a different team, so you can see what the changes will look like before you actually publish it to the live team. So yes, you can, and yes, you should.
Cool, thank you. Also, another question from Paul: how popular is Shopify in Japan comparing to WordPress, WooCommerce, for example?
Don't know the actual statistics, but I know that we are super busy. So like there's quite a lot of clients that want to use Shopify because the inventory system is really good, and then SEO is really good. So, and it's really easy to use for a client, basically. Yeah, I work for a Shopify Plus agency, so many of our clients are interested in the checkout customization, because like Shopify has a standard checkout experience for all stores. So that's a plus point. But yeah, I haven't personally done any migration, but I know that there's some clients that, or yeah, some people that look for Shopify expert do a migration of the store completely from WooCommerce or from ECBing, so Japanese specific e-commerce platforms.
Cool, thank you. I recommend also everyone to check. We have links to 2 stores from Cove and Aline. They're really nice to the Shopify stores. The store from Cove is Japanese stationery, so cute. Aline has a store with really cool clothes.
Yeah,
and I'm just looking at the men panties. In case I need to buy one. Cool. So it looks like a lot of people are thinking about customizing their own store. So
yeah.
I hope that they can get a lot of advices from you, Rossella.
Yeah. I'm on Twitter. Just drop me a message. Do you have a recommendation to learn how to create apps on Shopify? That's probably using the Shopify developer documentation, and there's quite a lot of tutorials online. Even on team development, the community is really active, and for the basics, there's lots that you can learn. Shopify, like apps. Oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you, Sasha. Yeah, like for example, the company I work for, we do teams and we do apps. So it's a good strategy to learn how to do both.
Cool. For those who are listening, not looking at the chat, I just shared Rossella's Twitter. So if you guys have any questions, even after the workshop, feel free to send her a message. Subscribe, follow, comment, share it.
I'm not on Twitch.
Cool. Do we have any other questions? Actually, we are right on time. Perfect.
Ready for dinner. Cool. I'm Italian, so we eat late.
Oh, really? What time do you usually eat?
Usually 8:30. So that's a good time.
It means that you have to have your lunch also late.
Yeah, 1.
Don't you feel hungry? Not having any?
Have a snack in the afternoon.
Okay, that explains. Okay, good. So you guys had last minute to shoot questions if you have any. if you have anything after the workshop, once again, connect to Rossella through her Twitter.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rossella, for this very, very nice and easy to understand workshop. I am pretty sure it will be very useful for today's audience. Very informative, people say.
Yeah. Maybe it's a bit of an overload, but I wanted to give a complete picture.
Cool. And also from my side, just wanted to share the link to the Wagon Demo Day one more time. The thing that I talked about, the event that we have our web development bootcamp students presenting their final projects. I recommend everyone to join and see what you can develop using Ruby. As Rossella mentioned today, Liquid is an open template language written in Ruby. So we encourage everyone to learn Ruby. You can build a lot of cool web applications with it.
You can contribute to the open source project for Liquid with your Ruby knowledge skills.
Great. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming tonight. Have a great evening. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you so much, Rossella. Great debut.